Welcome to Apex Legends Mythbusters, where I take common misconceptions and gameplay myths and attempt to find out the true answers once and for all. In this episode, I'll be covering 8 myths. I'll put the timestamp for each one in the description so that you can jump around the video if you prefer. These are the 8 myths I'll be covering. 1. Does the legendary backpack healing passive stack with Lifeline's passive? 2. Does the Peacekeeper get better accuracy when aiming down sights? 3. Does sliding uphill ruin your momentum? 4. Does using different weapons give you different movement speeds? 5. Can you see other players in Wraith's Into the Void ability? 6. Do bullets slow you down? If so, do certain bullets, like heavy bullets, slow you down more? 7. Do Gibraltar and Caustic run slower than other legends? 8. Do hot drop zones have better loot than standard zones, and do they always spawn a golden weapon? Alright, number 1. Does the legendary backpack healing passive stack with Lifeline's passive? This one was quick and easy to solve. The answer is no, it doesn't. Myth busted. To test this, I healed with and without the backpack. The healing rate is 50%, so it uses the backpack's healing speed and ignores lifelines. Number 2. Does the Peacekeeper get better accuracy when aiming down sights? Nope, it doesn't. Myth busted. Okay, but what about other shotguns? Interestingly, the Mozambique does. If you watched my video guide on it, you'll know that the Mozambique can actually consistently do 45 to 69 damage when you aim down sights because of the spread reduction. The EVA-8, however, also has the same spread in both ADS and hipfire. Number 3. Does sliding uphill ruin your momentum? Now, this was a mistake even I made to begin with. I assumed that sliding up hills was a guaranteed way to slow yourself down to a halt. Well, it's not true. In fact, sliding up hills gives you just as much of a speed boost as sliding on flat land. This is true even if the hill is really steep. Myth busted. Sliding downhill gives you more speed boost than uphill or flat ground though. Number 4. Does using different weapons give you different movement speeds? Well, the answer to this is yes and no. Firstly, your base movement speed is the same for all weapons. You run at 299 velocity when holstered, but all weapons bring that down to 260. Regardless of whether it's an LMG, sniper or pistol. However, each weapon has their own aim down sight speed. The pistols have no ADS speed reduction whatsoever, SMGs have a little, and snipers have the most. You then have different ADS speeds for each weapon class in between these, so myth confirmed. Number 5. Can you see other players in Wraith's Into the Void ability? So the answer is you can see other Wraith players in the Void if they use the Into the Void ability too, but not other players. It makes sense because you are both in the Void at the same time. Myth confirmed. Number 6. Do bullets slow you down? If so, do certain bullets, like heavy bullets, slow you down more? This is a 2-part myth. The first part was quite easy to determine. After some tests, I found that bullets do slow you down. You lose about 40% speed when getting shot at, which is then gradually regained. So part 1 of this myth is confirmed. Interestingly, after being shot consecutively, you lose that speed reduction and will just run at full speed eventually. Bangalore is also impacted by the speed reduction, but as soon as she is shot, she gets her speed buff added to her reduced speed, so whilst you do go a little slower than normal speed, it's massively faster than other legends in the same situation. So what about different bullet types? To begin with, I found that whilst there were some inconsistencies for reasons I couldn't quite understand, the overall results were that you'd typically get a 40% speed reduction from shotguns, heavy weapons, light weapons and energy weapons. So myth busted. Heavy weapons do not slow you down more than other ammo types. Okay, so different ammo types don't impact your speed more, but what about more weapon types? For example, does a wingman slow you down more than an SMG? After testing it, it seems to be that all weapons of all types give the same 40% speed reduction. There are some inconsistencies I haven't quite worked out though. Does distance come into play somewhat? Maybe, but it would be hard to test. Either way, yes, you do get slowed by bullets, and no, different weapons or ammo types do not change how much you get slowed. Number 7. Do Gibraltar and Caustic run slower than other legends? I'm sure most of you already know the answer to this one. The answer is no. All legends run the same speed. We can test it with the in-game CL show FPS command for PC. The velocity is 299 when holstered and 260 when holding a weapon for every legend. Myth busted. Number 8. Do hot drop zones have better loot than standard zones, and do they always spawn a golden weapon? If you watched my drop rates video, you'll know more about how loot works. In that video, I found that hot drop zones do have better loot than standard zones. Think of the loot in a hot drop zone as the same tier as high tier zones, but it also has more weapon spawns and less grenade and standalone ammo spawns. This means there's a higher chance to find high level armor, high level meds and level 3 weapon attachments. Myth confirmed. Now, do hot drop zones always spawn a golden weapon? The answer is unfortunately no. There's a 79% chance the golden spawn node will spawn a golden weapon, and a 21% chance it will be either of the 3 weapons shown on the chart on screen now. So that brings us to the end of the first episode of Apex Legends Mythbusters. Tune in next time while we find out whether level 4 barrel attachments hide weapon flashes, whether certain spots in the map always spawn high level armor, and if Lifeline drops always rotate the side with the best loot towards the Lifeline player that dropped it. Thanks everybody that watched this far. If you're still watching, I have one question for you. What Apex Legends myth would you like to see tested in a future episode of Apex Legends Mythbusters? Leave your suggestions in the comments for a chance to be featured. See you in the comments. Cheerio!